For years, my freezer was always full, yet I still struggled with what to cook every day. Food went in got forgotten and often ended up wasted. Then I changed one simple habit instead of just storing food. I started preparing it in ready-to-use portions. Now my freezer saves me time almost every day. Let me show you the simple system I wish I had started years ago. First, let's start with ground meat. I usually buy a larger amount at one time and freeze it so I can use it little by little. But instead of putting the whole bag in the freezer, it can be very difficult to take out just the amount you need. The most convenient way is to use this plastic container with built-in compartments. All you need to do is spoon the ground meat into each section of the container, with each portion being just enough for one meal. Then use a spoon to spread the meat evenly across the bottom of each compartment, pressing it down gently so it stays neatly in place without spilling into the section next to it. Close the lid tightly and place the container in the freezer. This method is very convenient, clean, and makes it easy to take out exactly the amount of meat you need without affecting the rest. Whenever you need to make soup, stir-fry vegetables, prepare pasta sauce, or cook porridge, you can simply take out one portion from a compartment and use it. This method saves time, makes portion control easier, and helps keep your freezer more organized. Next, for seasoning ingredients, like ginger and garlic. If you often have to cook a lot, but do not want to prep them every time, you can do it once to make everyday cooking faster. First, prepare an amount of peeled garlic and ginger that has been washed clean and cut into small pieces. Place each one separately into the food processor and blend until just smooth enough. You can add a little cooking oil or to help the machine run more easily. Then place the blended ginger and garlic into an ice cube tray with small compartments. Spread each compartment evenly, cover tightly, and place it in the freezer. Once they are frozen solid, take them out and place them in a zip-top bag or an airtight container. Each time you cook, you only need to take one small cube and put it straight into the pan. If you do not have much time to cook every day, try marinating meat ahead of time and storing it in the freezer. This method is very convenient, especially when you want to have crispy fried meat ready for a quick lunch or dinner. First, prepare the wet batter mixture by adding 100 grams of flour, 2 eggs, and 2-3 cups of water to a bowl. Then whisk well until the mixture is smooth. After that, prepare another bowl of breadcrumbs or panko breadcrumbs to make an appealing, crispy coating. Now for the meat. After cutting it into bite-sized pieces, marinate it with a little salt and pepper to give it a richer flavor. Next, dip each piece of meat into the wet batter mixture. Then roll it in the breadcrumbs until evenly coated. Line the bottom of a plastic container with a layer of parchment paper. Place each piece of meat inside. Then add another piece of parchment paper between the layers so the pieces of meat do not stick together. Continue doing this until all the meat is finished. Cover tightly with the lid and place it in the freezer. When you need to eat, you only have to take it out and fry it very quickly and conveniently. I often marinate it ahead of time to make it for the kids at home, and they usually really like this dish. You have a lot of lemons that you have not used up yet. You can also freeze them to use gradually, which is very convenient. First, wash the lemons, clean, dry them. Then cut some of them into thin slices or small pieces. Arrange these lemon pieces in a tray or small container. However, if you need to use the juice right away, you can also use a few lemons, cut them in half. Squeeze out the juice, strain out the seeds. Then pour it into an ice cube tray with many small compartments. Once the lemon juice has frozen solid, take it out and pour it right in together with the frozen lemon pieces underneath. After that, you can make another batch to continue using gradually. And just like that, you have lemon cubes and fresh, refreshing lemon slices ready to use anytime. Each time you make a drink, you only need to add 1 lemon juice cube and a few lemon slices, and you will have a wonderfully fresh and refreshing glass of water right away. For busy days, I usually prepare chicken soup ahead of time, so whenever I need it, I can simply heat it up and enjoy it right away. It's easy to make, light, and provides the essential nutrients you need. First, heat the pot. Add olive oil. Then sauté the onion until fragrant. Next, add the chicken and stir gently until it firms up. I usually use chicken breast because it is rich in protein. Sauté until the meat is slightly cooked and tender, then add carrots cut into bite-sized pieces. Next are diced potatoes and corn kernels. Stir everything well, then add broth to the pot until everything is covered. Now bring it to a boil, then lower the heat and cook for about 20 minutes until the chicken is tender and the vegetables are just soft enough. Finally, add the broccoli and cook for another 3 to 5 minutes. Then season with salt and pepper to taste. When the soup is cooked, let it cool completely, then divide it into airtight containers according to 1 meal portions. Do not fill them too full. Leave a small space because the soup will expand when frozen. Close the lids tightly and place them in the freezer. When you need to eat, simply thaw it and heat it in the microwave, or cook it directly on the stove over low heat. This soup can be used for breakfast, a light lunch, or a quick dinner, which is very convenient. Now take a little time to prep some vegetables so they'll be ready whenever you need to cook. Start with broccoli. Cut it into small pieces. Then quickly blanch it in boiling water for about 2 minutes. Then place it immediately into a bowl of ice water to keep its beautiful green color. Cut the potatoes into small pieces as well. Blanch them in boiling water for about 3 minutes, so they are slightly cooked and have less of a raw smell. Then soak them in ice water so the potatoes firm up and do not become too mushy. After that, place the broccoli into the food processor, 1 batch at a time. Pulse it until it is slightly broken down. Then pour it into a bowl. Next are the potatoes. Pulse them lightly as well, without blending them too finely. Cut the bell peppers in half, remove the seeds, then blend them into small pieces. Do the same with the onion and carrots. When all the vegetables are prepared, place them in a large bowl. Add a little olive oil and mix well. Finally, place the mixture into a divided container or a large container. Spread it evenly and then divide it into portions just enough for each use and place them in the freezer. This trick is very convenient when making fried rice, egg rolls, or dishes that need a lot of vegetables, helping you save a lot more time. Another way I often prepare ahead for a week is freezing bread for storage. I usually prepare several different kinds in a slightly larger amount to use gradually. This method helps bread keep longer without getting moldy or drying out too quickly like when left outside. First, separate the bread by type, then prepare a few plastic containers with tight-fitting lids to store them. If it is sliced bread, you can place each slice into the container. If it is a large loaf, cut it ahead of time into slices or smaller pieces. Then place it into another container, close the lid tightly, and put everything in the freezer. This method is extremely effective and can keep bread fresh for 7 to 10 days. When you need to eat, you only need to take out the exact number of slices you need, then reheat them in the oven air fryer or pan fry them for a few minutes. Do you know how to keep fresh herbs flavorful for longer? One simple way is to preserve them in olive oil. First, choose herbs such as cilantro, dill, parsley, and green onions. Wash them clean, then let them drain very well. The drying step is very important because if the herbs still have a lot of water, they can easily develop ice crystals and lose their aroma when frozen. After that, chop the herbs into small pieces and place them in an ice cube tray or a tray with small compartments. Next, pour olive oil into each compartment until it just covers the herbs. Cover tightly and place it in the freezer. This method helps keep your herbs fresh and convenient whenever you need to cook right away. Finally, here is how to handle ripe avocados and bananas. If you cannot eat them all at once, freeze them to store and eat gradually. For ripe bananas, peel them first, then cut them into small rounds. Arrange the bananas in a container lined with parchment paper at the bottom, then place each piece on top. After finishing one layer, add another layer of parchment paper, then continue placing each banana piece on top. This method helps keep the bananas from sticking together into one large block. For ripe avocados, cut them in half, remove the pit, and scoop out the flesh. You can cut them into pieces or mash them lightly. To help the avocado darken less, mix it with a few drops of lemon juice. Then divide it into small airtight containers and place them in the freezer. This method helps ripe avocados and bananas stay fresh and delicious for 10 to 15 days. They are very suitable for smoothies, fruit ice cream, or refreshing and appealing cooling treats. And that is how I usually handle and prep things ahead of time, to freeze, store, and use gradually. Now everything is very convenient. Whenever I need to eat, I just take out one portion and reheat it in the microwave. And I have a hot bowl of soup right away, or a crispy slice of toast made in the air fryer. Or with just 5 minutes of frying, you already have an appealing plate of fried meat. Not to mention, if you put bananas and avocados into the blender, you will have a delicious and appealing smoothie right away. Did you find today's video helpful? If yes, please Like, share, and subscribe to the channel to follow more helpful tips. Thank you for watching until the end of the video. Goodbye, and see you again.